Greetings YouTube, my name is Stuart and on my channel I show you how to make the most of your gear as a street and travel photographer. I'm a photographer and travel writer based in South Korea and I make videos about street photography in Asia, my journey as a street photographer and the gear that I use. So if you enjoy those types of videos, be sure to hit subscribe for more videos posted weekly. So first off, I just want to do a bit of housekeeping. If you haven't already seen, I've posted 4 vlogs from the Philippines, all mostly filmed with my DJI Osmo Action and then some parts of it also filmed with my A6300, as well as a few shots that I got with my travel setup, that being my A6300 and Sony 20mm f2.8 pancake lens, which I'm really enjoying and which I'm actually filming this on at the moment, so please go and check that out if you haven't already. And then in this video I want to talk a bit about bokeh and the best lens on APS-C to get bokeh. Now if there's one thing photographers love more than anything else when it comes to photography, it's bokeh or bokeh or however you choose to pronounce it. I really couldn't be bothered, but this kind of quality of having the background out of focus is kind of been the holy grail for photographers. And you know, I don't know, a lot of photographers seem to lust after bokeh more than sharpness, which seems a bit strange to me, but this is a very sought after quality in photography, and especially I'd say more so in modern contemporary photography, and not just across one single genre, but I'd say across a lot of genres. And so, you know, it's come to a point, and I say this jokingly, but you know, photographers are more than happy to forego sharpness, forego good composition. They're not worried about lighting in favor of going for bokeh. And like I said, that's a bit of a tongue-in-cheek statement, but it really does speak to what photographers value most nowadays. Personally, I've gone through a phase where I've kind of chased bokeh, and you know, I've like really, literally been my number one priority. But to me, bokeh has become less of a defining criteria on whether a photo is good or not. Now, having said all that, I do want to talk today about the best bokeh-licious lens for APS-C, and specifically Sony E-mount APS-C, and that is the Sigma 56mm f1.4. Okay, so I've had this lens for about, I'd say, 10 months, in which time I've used it mainly for street photography. To be honest, I haven't done that much travel shooting with it, but that's just because when I do travel, I prefer to shoot wider, and tighter focal lengths don't really lend themselves to kind of general travel photography. So I haven't used it a lot for travel, but definitely a lot on the street photography side. And even though I haven't been using it a lot lately, when I first got it, I shot, you know, in kind of December, January of last year. I absolutely love it for street photography. You know, it gives this 85mm full frame equivalent with a very pleasing compression to the images. So the distortion that you get on wide lenses, obviously you do not get that at all on this lens. In fact, it's very much the opposite. So very flattering lens in terms of how it renders your subjects and facial features and that sort of thing. And again, that full frame 85mm equivalent allows me to punch in on subjects without having to get too close to them. Now, my experience with this lens has been nothing short of fantastic, and I want to talk today about 3 things that I really enjoy about the Sigma 56mm f1.4. Okay, first of all, the form factor. It is super, I won't say super light, but pretty light compared to a lot of other primes that you would get for APS-C. I mean, look, in general, yes, you know, a lot of the 56mm options are relatively light and well built, but what I like about this is that it's chunky and solid enough to feel like, you know, there's a definite, it's well constructed, but it's not that huge that it feels poorly balanced on an A6000 series body. And that's what I like about it, the balancing, you know, the balancing on the A6000 range of cameras. What I mean by balancing is when you attach it to the camera, you know, there isn't really a tendency for your camera to kind of tip over because the lens is so heavy. It's really compact, it's pretty solid, so the form factor works well. It is compact enough for you to use in a lot of places. But just really the form factor, I think Sigma nailed it. I think they nailed it with a lot of their lenses, and the fact that this is actually the smallest of the 3 Sigma lenses makes it very attractive. You know, it's definitely for me one of the, I'd say, maybe the top performing Sigma lens out of all of those 3 lenses, the 16mm, the 3mm, and the 56. And I'll probably do a separate video of that. But I love that about this lens, the fact that it's just so compact. You can take it pretty much anywhere with you, it doesn't take up a lot of space. So that's reason number 1. Ultimately, I do still love pancake lenses, and this is not a true pancake lens. You know, pancake lenses just hardly protrude from the body, which makes them a very attractive travel option, and that's the reason why I shoot a lot of stuff on my Sony 20mm. But you know, having said that, this is still a good option. You know, if I was to go for a 2-lens setup, I'd probably just go for the 20mm and the 56, and that is a setup that I've been using actually for a little while now. So as of making this video, this lens I believe retails for $479 US, which is not going to break the bank. The price is pretty competitive, I would say. And you know, when it comes to the Sony E-mount ecosystem, you really are spoiled for choice. You've got your fair share of lenses. So you could go for the Sony FE 50mm f1.8, which is kind of the base 50mm, starts out at I think $249. Then you get the Sony E-mount f1.8, which has optical steady shot, and that costs I think a bit more, $299. And then on the other end, you've got the Zeiss 55mm f1.8, which is a fantastic piece of glass, but that's $999. And the fact that a lens that is almost half the price can compete with that Zeiss lens, I think that really says something about what Sigma have done with this lens. You know, it's not going to break the bank. It's definitely not on the cheaper end compared to the other options, but I like that it's a mid-range option. It's not, you know, super expensive, and it's not out of reach for a lot of people who have Sony E-mount cameras. Again, you know, if you were to compare it to an equivalent full-frame model, you'd be paying a lot more for, you know, an 85mm of a similar caliber. You know, you look at the 85mm f1.8 Sony, the G Masters, those are just very, very expensive pieces of glass. And so thank you Sigma for keeping the APS-C dream alive. I would like to see more from Sigma in terms of lens selection, and I know they probably do have lenses on the way, but for now this has definitely been one of their best lens releases, at least in terms of pricing and where it falls in the lens ecosystem. And finally, the last reason that I love this 56mm Sigma f1.4 are the results. I'm going to put up a few results, a few pictures that I've shot with this lens, and you know, it's just one of those things that kind of defies logic, the way this lens is so sharp, even wide open f1.4. The results are spectacular. I mean, skin details are so well rendered. Every little pore is rendered immaculately. Granted, I must say, honorable mention to something like the Fuji 56mm f1.2, which is a gorgeous lens from what I've seen as well. Really stunning rendition on that. But if you're in the Sony ecosystem, as far as, you know, getting a BOKEH lens goes, this is definitely, this should be on your radar, this should be your choice. The only time you're going to see these minute differences between f1.2, f1.4 and f1.8 is if you're a pixel peeper. You know, if you're sharing these things on social media, you're not going to be splitting hairs over which f-stop you shot an image at. You know, people are not going to be, really, most people at least, are not going to be wondering that. And it's just astounding how Sigma have managed to create this piece of glass that manages to compete with other more competent lenses. Alright, that's going to be it for this video. Drop a like down below if you own the Sigma 56mm f1.4 or if you want to own it, and let me know what your favorite thing about this lens is in the comments. Is it the size, is it the cost, or is it just the results? So today's question, which do you think is the best BOKEH lens for Sony APS-C cameras and APS-C cameras in general? And of course, the one thing I've forgotten to say is just a welcome to all the new subscribers who've been on this channel. And then also, remember, we're doing a 1,000 challenge in 2019, and I'm slowly kind of getting this 1,000 sub mark in sight. So thank you very much if you've recently subscribed. I really appreciate that. And thank you for subscribing as well. I really feel like the 1,000 sub challenge in 2019 is going to be a success unless something goes completely wrong. So yeah, if you are new, please hit sub. I'd really appreciate that. And yeah, more street photography and travel content coming from across Asia in the next few months.